everyone, we're at a really exciting part of the build. So you're going to start mounting servos and motors to your ROV. To do that, we need to design a mount for the servo motor mount into. The nice thing is we already have a servo mount and that we put that on our control board. So first thing I want you to do is remove your servo mount from your motor test board, keep your servo in it, and we're going to use this to figure out where we're going to put stuff. Now, the servo motor has this twist, and this part's the part that twists. It also comes with a metal disc that has matching teeth on this side, a gear on this side, that fits right over that. So we're going to put screws into this metal piece into our thruster motor. It'll look something like this. And as the servo turns, the thrust will go up or it will go down. This will allow us to bring the robot up and down through the water column. All right. So that means that this piece, this flat piece here, and this whole flat face of the servo has to be vertical. It can't be this way. If you had it this way, you can imagine the thruster would turn left and right, and you'd have no way of coming up or down through the water. So make sure this part's vertical. Now, it doesn't have to be straight up down like this. It could be this way. So it could be lying on its side or upside down, anything that puts it vertical. It could also technically, if it needed to be, at an angle. So if you had an angled piece of pipe, you could attach it to here as long as it was like, try to get it as much vertical as possible. So if my pipe was at a flat angle like this is not going to lift the robot well. The more vertical you get this, the more straight up and down you go. If you hold it at an angle like this, then your thrust is going to be forward and backwards and up and down, and you're always going to be moving diagonally through the water column. All right, so there is no rule about where you're going to mount it. So you got to figure out where you want to mount these things. If, say, for example, I want to mount it on a vertical piece of the robot, I'm going to need to think, okay, I'm going to put this motor mount like maybe here, like this. And then I need to 3D design some kind of hoop that goes around this part and attaches back to here. Okay? I could also say, oh no, I want to do it this way. I could also put it here on this side or here on the inside. So now I'm just going to think about where do I want this thing attached. Think about the thruster and where it's going to go. Make sure there's room for clearance for that. Also think about you want it to be kind of in the middle-ish of your robot vertically so that when you push, you don't push from the bottom and tip your robot up or push from the top and tend to tip it down. And then what else is there? Yeah, so as you're thinking about where we're going to put it, what we're going to do is we're going to actually use this 3D model that we've made in Fusion. We're going to modify it to become the motor mount. So all of this part that's around here has already been modeled. We'll cut away these two little wings that are holding the screws in, and then we'll use this case here to create the mount from. So as you're thinking about it, this can print from any of these sides. So this side, you can print with this face down, this face down, this face down, or even this one. You don't print with this face down because it's, I mean, you could, I guess. Yeah, totally fine. So if I was designing it, say, to mount like, oops, I was going to mount it this way. And notice as long as this face is vertical, we're good. I would design a hoop that would wrap around the motor here. Now, as I was thinking about that, I would think, well, where am I going to print? Well, if I print this face down on the print bed, I just want to make sure that I make my hoop down here at the bottom so it can be flat on the print bed, not halfway up here like this or at the top. So just think about how you're going to print as you're starting to think about your design as well. So what you want to do is you want to decide where the 3 servos are going to attach at. Take your motor mount, actually tape it to one of those locations. And then think about, well, how am I going to do this? Start drawing sketches of the top, the sides, whatever you need to do. If you're going to mount it horizontally, same thing, same rules apply. As long as you get this face vertical, you can mount it this way, at an angle, whatever you want. You can mount it on top here, like this. You can mount it here. As long as this is vertical, you're good. Once you have drawings, you've kind of figured out what your approach is, let me take a look at your drawings and talk to you about your designs. You might also find that you're going to do 2 servos on vertical ones and 1 on horizontal, so you'll need 2 different mounts. It just depends on how you built your ROV and where you're going to mount it. So with that, I thought I would show you the first couple steps in Fusion to get yourself rolling. So in Fusion, you're going to open up your servo motor mount. And what we're going to do is right away, instead of just modifying this, we're going to just go ahead and save it. We're going to do a quick file, save as. And I'm going to call this one the ROV Servo Mount. So, Servo Mount. I'm going to leave video version on there for me, just for me to know that. You don't need that for yours. And then I'm going to hit save. Now we won't have lost our motor mount. There's no reason to lose it. Just make a new file. All right, first thing we want to do is we want to clean this up. So we want to remove these edges. The easiest way to do that is just to flip it over to the bottom where we have a nice flat surface. I'm going to create a sketch on it. And I'm just going to draw a straight line from this corner to that corner, and from this corner of this part to that corner. And now I've segmented off these parts. I'm going to hit E for extrude, and now I can highlight just those little wings, and then I'm going to push the extrusion right through it, come over here and choose all, and then click OK. And now I've cut those wings off. At this point, you've got to decide how you're going to create that hoop and what you're going to do with your mount next. Have a great time with this. It's a lot of fun to try and figure all these things out. If you need help, please ask.